If you are an extremely affordable fragrance lover, if you also still enjoy some dupe fragrances, you're gonna enjoy this video today. I have 12 from the house of Absar. Each one of them, I believe, is inspired by a popular, much more expensive fragrance. A few of them I couldn't figure out, but for the most part I could, and I'm excited to share them with you guys today. We're talking very, very affordable here. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, affordable Middle Eastern fragrance reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be one of my buddies. All right, you guys, full disclosure, always like to give that to you first. These were sent to me, all 12. Big surprise. I had no idea that they were coming, opened it up and was like, there's 12 fragrances here, I'm in heaven. So that was surprising to me. I will always give you guys my honest opinions. And you have heard me here recently kind of mention that I am growing a little bit tired of some dupe fragrances, and I still do feel that way. So I don't want you guys to think, oh, because she sent these, all of a sudden she's really, really excited about dupes that she's already talked about before. What I'm trying to do is be objective and say, is this a good dupe for this fragrance or not? If I have smelled the original or not. It doesn't really matter so much if I want to bring in a bunch of dupes into my collection. I want to review these for you because there's still a ton of people out there that are looking for those affordable options, even from some of those houses and brands that we've seen tons of dupes of before. So that's kind of my little disclaimer. But you guys also, you can find all of these fragrances anywhere from $15 to $30. Whether it's Fragrance Net, that's where I found the cheapest, or Amazon, also Gift Express, but everything is anywhere from $15 to $30. That is phenomenal. And I'll also talk a little bit about wear time. Some of these were a little shorter lasting than others, about 3 or 4 hours on the skin. If you're only paying $15, $18 for a fragrance, that is, to me, great. But some of them last a lot longer. Like one was beast mode. So overall though, I think this is an awesome fragrance house, and it is owned by Lattafa. Lattafa owns so many awesome subsets of fragrance houses. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these all Absar fragrances. All right, a lot of times I don't keep the boxes, but since these all kind of came together and I was sifting through them and trying to keep them separate and keep my mind straight, I went ahead and just placed them back in the boxes. So you guys get to see those today. This is Bint Al Amal, and this one is one of my mystery ones. I cannot put my finger on what this is duping. It smells kind of familiar, but not exactly like anything else I've smelled before or that I personally own. So if someone else by chance has smelled this and you can figure it out, please enlighten us. But here is the bottle. Really pretty, really sleek, really luxurious looking. It's nice and heavy. I do have my notes here so I can go ahead and read the notes. This is mango, peach, blackcurrant, mandarin, pink berries, grape, orange blossom, jasmine, vanilla, musk, cedarwood, dry amber, $17 Fragrance Net, and then I wrote dupe ? I am assuming that it is, since most of these are, but you guys, I just cannot figure this one out. It smells really lovely. This one's pretty strong. This one I got better projection and longevity from than a couple of the others. I just don't know what it is duping. If you love a fruity, kind of bold in your face fragrance that's not too sweet, this is, I'd say it's more feminine. I could see a few men wearing this too, but I do think this is a little bit more feminine. And this having grape and orange blossom in it, when I read those notes, I was like, oh wait, is this gonna be, too grape soda-y? Because a lot of times orange blossom as it is gives me a grape or root beer, grape soda kind of root beer vibe, like Love Don't Be Shy does. But I think with the other fruits in this, like the black currant and the mango, it makes it a little bit more tangy, You do have a little bit of sweetness here, but then that cedar wood and the amber in here kind of really rounds this out and makes this a fun, warm, fruit medley sort of a fragrance. It's not too sweet. It's fairly bold. It projects a little bit better than some of the other ones in here. I think it's really lovely. I just wish I could tell you guys what it was duping, but my nose can't figure it out. This is Bint Al Alma. All right, this next one is Madia. And beautiful bottle, love the cap. It reminded me a lot of Andalib. That was a fragrance that did not work for me. The look of the bottle, the cap reminded me of Andalib. That one did not work for me. Totally smells different than this fragrance though. But you have the gorgeous cap, this pretty blue, kind of blue-green looking oceany. Really, really pretty. So this is another one that drove me nuts because it smells so familiar to me. The closest thing that I can come up with, and I don't think that this is what it's duping, because the rest of the ones that I know what it's duping are duping kind of a little bit more upscale fragrances. It reminds me a little bit of Ariana Grande's God is a Woman. And I've been wearing my travel. I have 2 travels of that fragrance. I have one that's almost empty, so I've been intentionally wearing that one to try to empty it. So I'm really familiar with what that smells like right now. And that's sort of the vibes that this gives me. But there is an ever so subtle tobacco leaf in this that is extremely subtle, but enough to make it a little bit of something different than what God is a Woman is by Ariana Grande. This has pear. I can definitely smell the pear and the jasmine in this. That stands out the most. It also has caramel, but I don't get much caramel. Sometimes caramel can be really prominent where you smell caramel, and sometimes instead it kind of acts as something to thicken a fragrance a little bit, but it doesn't really smell like caramel. I think this does kind of thicken it up a little bit. It's not extremely heavy, but it's not as light as God is a Woman, so that makes it different. Otherwise, it does remind me of God is a Woman. So if you have smelled that, that sort of pear, jasmine, not super sweet, but really feminine, really pretty. I think this is a gorgeous fragrance. I really, really do. I really like this one. I will say this is probably the shortest lasting out of all of them. About a 3-hour wear on my skin. It could, over time, macerate some and last longer. That's a possibility. Again, let's see. The price on this one I found $17 on FragranceNet. I mean, I think $17 for a really pretty 3-hour wear and a pretty bottle, I'm fine with that personally. I do want to disclose that to you guys, but man, this is another one that I'm just like, if anybody knows, it just smells so familiar to me. Closest I can come up with is Ariana Grande, God is a Woman. All right, next one up is Symphony. This is my beast. Out of all of them, you guys, this is a beast projector, beast mode, and lasts so long. So this one, notes on this are pear, bergamot, orange blossom, jasmine, musk, vanilla. And this one I did not find on FragranceNet. I did find it on Amazon for $30. Here's what the bottle looks like. You have this gorgeous blue, sapphire blue, very, very heavy again. I really like the etching of the gold and the gold cap. Now this one is supposed to be duping Herba Pura by Xerjoff. Now, admittedly, that is one I've never smelled. I've avoided that one a little bit because of how many people hate that fragrance with a fiery passion. It is one of those that I think it has a cult love of it, but that's the minority. And then the people who hate it are more so, and they hate that fragrance. But I did see a couple of people, this one, whenever I was researching it, I did see a couple of reviews of it from people who had smelled Herba Pura that did not like Herba Pura and said, this is so much better. So I personally cannot attest to that since I have not smelled the OG. I can just really tell you what this smells like to me. What's funny, because it's got all these fruits. It's got the pear, orange blossom, musk and vanilla, but I smell heavy woodiness and oud in here, but it is not listed. But to me, this smells like a cold weather fragrance. It smells more Middle Eastern-like that you think of in your head. It kind of reminds me of Queen, that I recently actually decluttered, not because I didn't like how it smelled. It was just so strong. And that's how this one is to me. I know people describe Herba Pura as being a fruit basket with musk. And I don't really get that. I do get the musk in here, and fruitiness, but to me, this smells oudy and woody and a little bit more masculine, I would say. So I think it's actually quite lovely. You guys, I'm telling, performance on this. The night that I tested this out, I think I sprayed it at about 6 o'clock, and next morning I woke up and could smell this. So it is extremely long lasting. If you do love Herba Pura, you might really like this. If you don't, I think this is for more of your bold fragrance lovers. You want to fill a room, you want it really long lasting. I think men would really like this. Women can wear this too. It's not all the way masculine, but for me, it's maybe a little too much, but I can appreciate especially the power of this one for 30 bucks. All right, you guys, I knew before I even smelled this, still the plastic on here, since we're duping things here, I was like, this is going to be Tom Ford Lost Cherry. And honestly, I was like, I'm gonna be so annoyed because I'm so tired of the dupes of that fragrance. And I've decluttered, I think, 4 now in total. And, but you guys, I have to say, and this is a dupe of, or inspired by, but this one is different from all of the other dupes I have smelled. This has something different about it. The notes on this one is bitter almond, black cherry, rose, griotte syrup, jasmine pistachio, Peru balsam, tonka vanilla, and cedarwood. So this is more layered. This is more nuanced. I think this one is that Peru balsam in here, I feel like is what makes this different. It's a little bit more exotic. I think it's really sexy. I was shocked because not that I don't like any of the other dupes out there, so many of the other Lost Cherry dupes have no bite to them, no grit. And even when they do have a little bit of that woodiness or that smokiness in the background, it's not enough to separate from the rest. They just all smell the same. This one smells different. I think it is a little bit more manly, a little bit more masculine than all of the other dupes that I have smelled. I feel like a lot of times the dupes of Lost Cherry try to play it real safe because they want really anyone to be able to wear it. And I think sometimes it comes off even a little more feminine. This one's a little more masculine, but I think it's sexy. I think this would smell amazing on a man. I don't mind wearing it myself. It might be a little too masculine for some women, but I think if you're a guy out there and you're like, I want the Lost Cherry dupe that is a little bit different and a little bit sexier, this is it. I'm really impressed with this. I think I'm not going to actually declutter this. I think I'm gonna finally keep a Lost Cherry dupe around. And also, you guys, here's what the bottle looks like. Really pretty. I was impressed with this one. This one you can find Amazon Gift Express for $30 and $17 on Fragrance Net. And I think I forgot to say what this is. This is Oud Al Samawat is what this one is. And very, very impressed with it. All right, this next one is Musk Candy. And I think the bottle is so pretty. Really love this bottle. Love the cap. Nice and heavy. I love this fragrance, but I am a musk lover. That is just something that I have developed in the last, I'd say, year or so. And I can understand why it's not for everyone. A heavy musk, I can understand. It can often come across very, very clean and sometimes a little bit animalic occasionally. I mean, it is a synthetic musk, so it is mimicking something that would come from an animal, so that makes sense. But this is a case of a fragrance that is so beautiful in the dry down and the wear. This is violet, red fruits, peach, white musk, white flowers, amber, caramel, sugar, hints of vanilla. Now, I don't particularly find this very sweet. I know it's called Musk Candy. I think candy is very misleading. I don't think this is that sweet. I get the violets, the white flowers, and the white musk more than anything in this. And when I first spray it, there is an ever so slight funky muskiness to it. When it dries down, this is just one that it feels like I'm floating. I feel like a pretty princess. I feel clean and elegant and regal, and that's kind of how I feel with a lot of musk fragrances and why I kind of keep going back to them. So I personally love this one. I think out of all of them, this is the most layering type of fragrance. I think you could put this with if you wanted to sweeten it up, put it with something stronger vanilla or something stronger with that sugary element that I can't really pick up that much in this. So it's very versatile. I think it's very girly and pretty and soft. Maybe not for everyone, but I personally really love it. I cannot figure out what this is duping. There's a ton of musks out there, so I'm not really sure. I'm a huge Narciso Rodriguez musk lover, and it doesn't really smell like any of those, so I'm not sure. All I know is that I love it, and it's $17 fragrance net, $30 Amazon. All right, this next one is Sahara Roses. And this is another one I knew. I was like, that is gonna be Delina. It is gonna be Delina. If you've missed my other videos, I've just been like, I'm so tired of the Delina dupes because I don't love Parfums de Marly Delina like everyone else. And it's always that rhubarb and something scratchy in it that I don't love. But you guys, this is my favorite Delina dupe I've ever smelled. And I think I'm gonna keep it. And I kind of can't believe I'm saying that, but it doesn't have rhubarb in it, but it is duping Delina. So the notes in here: lily of the valley, jasmine, rose, lemon, patchouli, vanilla, chocolate. I do not get any chocolate. I don't get any patchouli really. I get the rose, a little brightness of lemon, a little of that lily of the valley, just kind of fresh floral. And it doesn't have that really bitter, harsh spiciness of the rhubarb that I do not like in Delina, that ruins Delina for me. It's like you just took that out. Now it may be duping Delina Rosé, but it didn't say that online. So I just know I like it so much better. So much better than any other of my Delina dupes, and I've decluttered them all. And I'm gonna keep this one. It's pretty, it's girly, it's an easy spring wear for sure. Can't believe it, but I actually do really like this, and I think the bottle is gorgeous. So that's Sahara Roses, $19.99 at the Oud Store and $29.99 at Gift Express. All right, next up we have Nasma. And I guessed this one pretty quickly when I sprayed it. This is duping Good Girl, Carolina Herrera's Good Girl. Here is what the bottle looks like. I kind of like that they didn't try to copy the Good Girl bottles. The notes on this one is almond, coffee, lemon, jasmine, rose, tonka bean, sandalwood, cacao. And I have another dupe actually a real cheap one, and the bottle's pretty cheap looking, of Good Girl. And I think I'm gonna declutter that one and keep this one. I don't love Good Girl, but every once in a while, and please don't get offended if you love it and you think it's really elegant, I think Good Girl smells kind of skanky. Like the skanky, you know, it's not very nice to say, but like the skanky girl, you know, just like she's a little bit dangerous or like a little bit dirty, but she wears a perfume so she doesn't stink. She just kind of smells skanky, and that's how I think Good Girl is. I just have always thought that, and I would never pay the full price for that. I'm not going to pay over $100 to smell skanky, but for this price, yeah, every once in a while, I kind of want to smell like that. It's a little bit fun. I think this one is done very well. I think it's blended very nicely. I don't think the coffee is too harsh. It kind of is in my other dupe. It kind of smells a little too dirty. This one's really actually pretty. It's like skanky dressed up nice. So this one is $17 fragrance net, $30 Amazon. Next we have Shaare, and this one took me a while too because it smelled like so many things to me. It smelled a little bit like Tresor by La Nuit Tresor by Lancome. It smelled a little bit like Scandal, like almost like La Belle, like some of my other dupes. So I was trying to figure it out, and I think it is closest to Scandal as far as the notes listed. So this is orange, honey, gardenia, rose, vanilla, chocolate, and possibly patchouli. It's not listed, but I smell patchouli in here for sure. But in the way of these sort of designer fragrances that have this sort of DNA to them, like if you have smelled La Nuit Tresor, it smells very similar to that too. That one does have patchouli, but that one has a lot of other notes that's not listed in here, and the notes are closest to Scandal, Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal. So I kind of like this. I used to not really like fragrances like this, and I've somehow grown to like them. I kind of have to be in the mood. It needs to be cold. To me, this is a cold, like night out. I like wearing a fur, kind of want to feel a little vintagey. That's what I get from this. I think the bottle is pretty. It does have that sort of honey rose chocolatey element to it, kind of thick, kind of old school, but I've kind of grown to like that. So I think this is a pretty good representation of those type of designer fragrances. And this one is pretty long lasting as well. This is $15 fragrance net. This is my cheapie, or $30 Amazon or Gift Express. Okay, now this next one I already owned and have a review on it that I've already done. So I did get one brand new in a box that I did not open, but this is Sahara Intense. And this is the dupe for Mancera's Amore Cafe. So if you'd like to see a more extensive review on that, I've got a whole video on it. This is an excellent, excellent dupe. Really, really good. I mean, pretty on the nose. I won't go too much into it since I have a whole video on it, but it's delicious. The notes are coffee, amaretto, vanilla, sugar, ambergris, and just a really beautiful nutty liqueur. That amaretto is there in this one, so if you are sensitive to any kind of liquor note, it is prominent in this one too. Like almost like you took ice cream and then just drizzled the amaretto over it. That's what you get with this one. One of the closest, I think, dupes out of all of these that I know really, really well. And if you want to go see that video, go watch it. But you can get this one for $29.99 on Gift Express is where I still find this one available. All right, next up we have Kasuf The Hobby. And as soon as I opened this one up and saw just this part just sliding out and saw the cap, I was like, oh, we have a YSL. We have a YSL impersonator. So this, I believe, is inspired by duping Lieb Intense. The notes on this one: lavender, orange blossom, jasmine, black currant, musk, vanilla, tonka bean. So it's not exact to either one, but you definitely get a pretty heavy orange blossom in here and lavender. The orange blossom is more of that heady sort of orange blossom than like a marshmallow orange blossom, in my opinion. Kind of more old school smelling orange blossom. And then the lavender, I feel like the jasmine is slightly indolic in this one as well. So the florals in here are pretty like heady, like pretty intense. And then you do have that vanilla musk going on. So I think it's a pretty worthy dupe, actually. I used to not really care for Libre Intense. Now, I love La Parfum, Libre Parfum. I love that one. But as far as like regularly, not so much into it as the La Parfum. So I'm growing to like this one better. You have to like a pretty heavy kind of old school floral with some musk. But if you like Libre Intense, you'll probably enjoy this. I do think that the bottle is really fun. This looks too, I think like the scent of this and even the scent of Libre to me, like I keep saying, is more old school. It's a little bit nostalgic, like a little bit dated. But again, I kind of like am starting to enjoy those sort of vintagey fragrances. And this one has the most, I think, kind of vintage looking bottle to me. So I kind of like that whole thing about it. But that is Kasuf The Hobby. Now this next one, I think might be my favorite out of all of these. Maybe in my top 3 for sure. This is Hirfa. Here is the bottle. Now this one does not look anything like what it's representing or what it's emulating, I don't think, bottle wise. This is similar, but not exact, very similar to Goddess, Burberry Goddess. But you guys, I find this to be a little bit different and really exciting. Okay, so let me tell you. This is black currant, pink pepper, bergamot, lavender, saffron, musk, amber, and vanilla. The black currant makes this a little bit different, and the pink pepper is fairly prominent in here. So it took me a minute. I wasn't sure at first. When I sprayed this, I was like, this smells very familiar, but something's different in the opening. Once it dried down, it does turn a lot more goddess-like. But the opening was a little bit different for me. Like, it's like goddess, but slightly more exotic. And I really, really like their little twist on this a lot. Dries down beautifully. I got a big compliment from this when I was at dinner the other night. And the person that smelled it was just like, wow, what are you wearing? That is amazing. So I love this, and I don't even feel like it's too repetitive of goddess. It does smell similar, especially in the dry down, but that little something that's different in here makes me very happy that I own this and very excited. So, and this one, $17 fragrance net, $29.99 at Gift Express. Now my very last one was also the very first one that I tried out of all of these, and I don't know why it took me so long to figure out what this was duping. Because once I realized, I thought, how did I not know that? But this is Hayam. Here is the bottle. And this one is duping Valentino's Donna Born in Roma. You guys, this is a huge compliment getter. The day that I wore this, I only went to 2 places. Both places, strangers, mega compliments. Like the second they were in my presence. One, I walked up to the person checking out in the checkout counter. The other one was at a restaurant, and when the waitress walked up to me, the first thing out of both people's mouths were, oh my gosh, you smell so good. What are you wearing? And at that time, I had not actually figured out that it was a Born in Roma inspired fragrance, but once I figured it out, I was like, Yes, thank you. But this is beautiful. So is the original. I have another dupe from Aleisha. That one is really good as well. But also paired with some vanilla. This is so pretty. But this is blackcurrant, bergamot, pink pepper, jasmine, vanilla, cashmere. And yes, cashmere. And I think it is the cashmere and the vanilla, honestly, everything in here. This is just a gorgeous fragrance. I think a lot of people love the original. I love the original bottle as well. I love the aesthetics of that whole line. Like all the flankers are beautiful of the Valentino, but this one holds up. This one garners compliments. And this one I could not find on a fragrance net, but it is $29.99. Amazon and Gift Express. So if you don't want to spend the money on the Born in Roma, or for whatever reason, if you don't like the bottle, well, this one is just as good. And this one projects, because I mean, compliments, like just walking up, I must have been just projecting like crazy. So really highly recommend this one for sure. That is it, you guys. Though those are the 12 Al Absar fragrances that they so kindly sent over to me. I mean, bottom line, I think that these are really good fragrances. The price is right. There wasn't one that I thought was terrible or really cheap and horrible smelling. I think that they smell more expensive than they are, which is great. Some last longer than others. But I think it's a brand worth checking out for sure, especially if you love affordable fragrances and if you're looking for a dupe. I thank you guys so much for watching today. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.